Morning folks, so today we're on another walk, and today we're in Nottinghamshire on a 9-mile circular walk, and we're heading to the Dumbles, Lambley Dumbles, and then we're heading on to the number 1 purpose-built Borstel, and then we'll head up towards a woodland which is actually famous for being one of the most haunted woodlands in the Midlands, with a nun that floats across the woodland floor. Hi guys, it's Andy, the expedition hiker. So if you like hiking, backpacking and long distance walking and like to learn some tips and skills about the outdoors, then please consider subscribing. Today we are going to a valley formed from the last ice age, then to a Stone Age village before finding out some local trails and tales. And then we get to where the locals are afraid to visit due to the often heard screams in the ancient woodland. Sounds exciting, so let's get walking. Thank you. So we've just left the entrance to the country park, crossed the road, took a left and then right next to Crimea Farm, and then there's a footpath which we're on now. And now we're going to head down towards Lambley Dumbles. So we're just approaching the Dumbles. The word Dumble means a wooded valley or a wooded dingle, and the term from the dictionary actually derives from the Lambley Dumbles, which we are approaching right now. So this area was formed at the end of the Ice Age. As the ice melted, it carved steep-sided valleys. With the warmer air, large forests were created where reindeer and mammoths would have been found. Flint arrowheads have been found in the area, showing that this was an area of hunting. Elk, roe and red deer would have lived within the forests. Hopefully as we wander through the fields we shall pass some Lambley cowslips. The plant is an emblem of the village of Lambley and was celebrated for making posies and for winemaking on the first Sunday in May through the Georgian era. Although the event was cancelled in the Victorian times as it brought rowdiness to the quiet village. It would seem that in the Lambley Dumbles little people live, as you can see here. As we walk further down, there's all little doors where people live. Every little people. Mind you, I'm 6'4", so a lot of people are little compared to me. Yeah. A little door there. Just saying welcome. Oh, I see they live in flats. And somebody else there. I'm sure there's plenty more further down. So we're out of Lambley Dumbles and now we're in the village of Lambley, and we're going to walk through the main street. You don't see pumps like this very often nowadays. A bit old. See the cottages to us right. As it says, it's an English listed building. Some significance to it. I'm not sure how the quaintest and quietest of villages always seem to be full of traffic. Usually just passing through and not actually stopping. An old quaint cottage, but some interesting shapes to it. Anyway, signs of civilizations have been dated back to 4005 BC, Neolithic times within the area of Lambley Village. It is around this time when farming began. Stone axes would have been used to make forest clearings, and one stone axe was found in the village. After the Neolithic times, not much evidence has been shown for the village until centuries later. Now to our left is a little brook, which is called Beck, and we're going to pass that later on, so I'll talk a little bit more of that later on. So this is the parish chapel, as you can see, dated 1849. And you can see this cottage here, it's got an old outhouse. The two doors represents, one door would have been the outside toilet, the left-hand one would have been the coal shed. I remember well from my great-grandmother who lived in South Wales, who had an outhouse similar. So Pingle Field was the home of the village manor house. After the Norman conquest, the manor was given by the king to a man named Eldon, who took the name Cromwell after his main manor in North Nottinghamshire. The ninth son in the Cromwell lineage, Ralph, from 1394 to 1456, earned a knighthood for fighting at Agincourt. He became Lord Treasurer to Henry VI and was a powerful and prosperous man. He rebuilt two other splendid manor buildings, Tattershaw Castle in Lincolnshire and Wingfield Manor in Derbyshire, where he planned to do work in the upcoming months. The manor here had several buildings, including stables, a brew house and a granary. But it would seem it was demolished by 1609, as a map then shows just a moat without buildings. We're going to head out to this busy village of constant traffic, and the next place we're going up to is Reed Pond. Last year, Nottinghamshire Wildlife Trust were to sell the nature reserve off, which the land was donated by the Burks family for public use. It was to become part of a housing development area, but after locals got in touch with their local MP, the pond and its wildlife had been saved from development. It's getting hotter, middle of the day now. It's I think it's 28 degrees now. Not a cloud in the sky. We are expecting thunder today, but thankfully I'll be happy when it happens, because I'm burning up. I've got my lotion on, but still feel like it's burning through. Anyway, on to Loudoun Grange next. We'll take this footpath for about a mile. So about halfway down the footpath from the brow of the hill. As I said, it was about a mile long. About the halfway point is here. This is Hunter's Lodge. Now, as we walk through this field, hopefully we'll be able to see some buildings on our left, and that is Loudoun Grange. And as you can hear, a pheasant somewhere near that hedgerow on our right. By the sound of it, it's a male pheasant. Loudoun Grange is now a Category B prison for males. It originally was opened in 1930 to be the first purpose-built borstel. A borstel was a custodial institute for young offenders. Previously there were 3 borstels: Borstel in Kent, Felsted in London, and Portland, Ireland, where we passed on a walk that I'll leave a link to here. In May 1930, Major William Llewellyn marched 40 boys from Felsted in London, 132 miles away, to Loudoun Grange, where they stayed in tents until temporary wooden huts were complete. Afterwards, the site was expanded, and the first house that contained a 60-bed dormitory was opened in 1933. The Borstel was completed in the late 1940s. When the Borstel closed, it became an open prison. In 1998, it became a Category B prison, privately financed. At one point had a prison officer who used to be a security guard to Reggie Cray. Reggie and his twin brother, Ronnie, were the foremost perpetrators of organised crime in East London during the late 1950s and 60s. The trees to our left-hand side, the prison is actually just behind them at the top of the hill. It's hidden away by trees. I'll show you an overview of it just about now. Anyway, we're walking down to the road now, and then we'll come towards Beck. So this is the road that leads up to Loudoun Grange. Unfortunately, we've got a bit of shade now. So we're just going to walk down this road and we'll come to the main road. I think it's Catfoot Lane. Oh, it feels a bit cooler. May stay here till 6 o'clock when it gets cool enough. Maybe not. So, tip of the day. Now earlier I came across a family with some young daughters, and they were walking across a field with some cows on it. They got quite nervous, especially the younger daughters. The lady was actually just clapping, trying to scare them off, but generally that doesn't work, because cows are quite docile and they probably won't know what you're doing. If they come towards you, they're just inquisitive, really. Usually I'll walk towards them, as long as I don't try and walk too close to the back of them, and then they usually will walk on. You just take your time, just be stern with them. You don't have to touch them. If there's a big group of you, walk single file, they'll move along. And if you do get the odd one that'll approach you, then all you have to do is stamp your foot, they will move back. So just stand your ground, don't look nervous, walk on, be quiet, but keep on the footpath, okay? So that's tip of the day. And we're reaching the road now. So as we reach the road, obviously a busy road, and this is called Beck. It's a stream that runs back towards Lambley. Now the area that we're in at the moment is called the Flatlands, and the Beck is basically a drainage system to the area. This Beck base is of gravel and a reddish soft clay that sumps 8 to 10 feet deep in places. In the clay, signs of man has been found from the centuries before, which have dated back to the Stone Age. The stone axe I spoke about earlier when we were in Lambley, that was found in the clay of the Beck. Oh, it's hot. So we're just passing Wood Farm and we're on our way down towards Gedling Woods. Haunted Gedling Woods. Oh, as we approach the Gedling Wood. Now this is meant to be a very haunted wood. And we're about to go inside to see what's there. In the daytime, it is a quiet and calm area, but by night it becomes a more sinister place, as there have been many reported cases of paranormal activity over the centuries, including a ghostly nun and also of a white lady, both of which have been seen to float down the trails and paths of the woodlands. Now on top of that, there's also the blood-curdling screaming that comes from the woodlands. and it's been heard several times by several people. And every time somebody runs into the woodlands trying to find the person in danger or being hacked to death, nobody's there. So, might be the perfect place to go and do a bit of a camp out. Put a like and a comment if you think that's a good idea for me to sleep in my little tent out in the woodlands of the most haunted and paranormal woodlands in the East Midlands. As I say, put a comment and a like if you want me to do that. Anyway, let's walk through the woods. Apologies for not showing my face that much today. Obviously just at the start and probably do it at the end. I thought you'd like to see the scenery a bit more than my face, surely. You didn't come here just to see my face. If you did, you could be a sad person. Well, no ghostly screams so far, and no blood-curdling screams either. Well, that's it, we're out of it now. That's the end of Gedling Wood. Spotting my rain now. So in front of us, obviously we're starting to come into the buildings again, back into reality. So on the spire you can see there, that's Gedling Church. Anyway, we're going to continue walking along this path. It should sort of like take us on a sort of like a L shape, and it'll head us back down towards the country park. This is an interesting fence that we have in front of us. They've gone all the way up the top, put all these posts in, and there's no fence. And by the look of the overgrown grass around them, they've been there for some time. And back to reality we are. So there's a lot of machinery here because this is the road that they're building. Obviously, as the sign says, Gedling Access Road. A lot of heavy machinery, a lot behind this sign as well. All big, there's dumper trucks. Anyway, so the hill at the top, that is the spoils heap of Gedling Country Park. So what we're going to do in a moment is I'm going to turn around, take the lane over this little bridge on the right hand side, and that goes on into the Lambley Lane recreational park. So as we approach Gedling Country Park, the noise is getting a bit loud because the road that is still building on our right hand side. Just tell you a little bit about the park. So the park is on the site of a former colliery, opened in 1899 and closed in 1991. The colliery was known as the United Nations Pit, as it employed 31 different nationalities. Thousands of black miners worked in Britain's pits from the 1950s onward. While racism was accepted above ground, deep underground there was no divide. The area was opened in 2017 as a country park and has numerous wildlife walking trails on its 500 acres grounds. Progress as they build through the country park this new road. Okay, so we've just crossed the constructed road. Now we've got to head up this hill. This is an old slag heap from when the colliery used to be a spoil heap. This is also the highest point of the day that we're climbing. I'm not sure actually how it is, so I shall put that in on the screen about now. Anyway, let's get up to the top of the hill. Okay, you can just see at the top of the hill there's a solar farm. I didn't notice that as we got to the top. That's Gatlin in front of us and Colton. And then looking over to our right is Mapley Plains. You can just about see a mast in the centre of the picture. That is at Hine Hall. It's a radio communications mast. Anyway, this is the end point of the walk for today. It's a bit warm. I think it's about 28 degrees today. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, then please subscribe. Like would be great. You can add a comment, or you can also share it if you want. But for today, it's the end of it. I'm going to go and have a cold shower, and hopefully next week I might even get a chance to get my ear caught, as I'm actually starting to think I should become the hairy hiker rather than the expedition hiker. But anyway, as usual, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, hikers.